What you must disclose when selling a home for Kentucky sellers. Hi, I'm David Hiddle, real estate specialist, doing business as Shop Kentucky Homes LLC with United Real Estate Louisville. And if you are selling a home in the Louisville area, there's a question that can save you from lawsuits, contract cancellations, and serious stress later. And that question is, what do I legally have to disclose when selling my home in Kentucky? Because here's the truth. Not disclosing the right things can cost you thousands of dollars. And over disclosing the wrong things can scare away buyers for no reason. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what Kentucky sellers are required to disclose, what you are not required to disclose, some common mistakes sellers make, and how to protect yourself legally when selling your home. So let's get into it. The big rule: sellers must disclose known material defects. In Kentucky, sellers are required to disclose what are known as material defects about the property. This means anything you know about that affects the value, the safety, or the condition of the home that a buyer could not reasonably discover on their own. Now, this is not about perfection. It's about honesty. If you know about a serious issue, you must disclose it. So what counts as a material defect? Well, here are some of the most common things that sellers must disclose. Roof leaks or past roof damage, foundation cracks or structural movement, basement or crawl space, water problems, mold or reoccurring moisture issues, plumbing leaks or sewer backups, electrical problems or unsafe wiring, HVAC systems that don't work properly, termite damage or past infestations, fire damage or flood damage, and known boundary disputes or encroachments. If you know about it, and it could matter to a buyer, it belongs on the disclosure. The Kentucky Seller Disclosure Form. Here in Kentucky, sellers complete a formal seller disclosure of property condition form. And this form covers things like roof, foundation, basement and crawl space, plumbing, electrical, heating and cooling, water and sewer, appliances, environmental issues, and structural components. And for each section, the seller either answers yes, no, not applicable, or unknown. The key word here is known. You are not required to investigate or open up your walls. You are only required to disclose what you actually know about. You are not required to disclose everything, and this is where many sellers can get nervous. You're not required to disclose things such as cosmetic issues like paint, carpet, or minor issues or minor wear. Issues you truly do not know about. Problems that have already been fully repaired, though it's a good idea to put them in there and when they were repaired. Normal aging of the home. You are not required to disclose why you are selling the home. Personal situations like a divorce or a job relocation. You're not required to disclose that someone died in the home in most cases. And you're not required to disclose neighborhood gossip or rumors. The law focuses on property condition and not personal history. Repairs. Do I have to disclose old problems that were fixed? Well, that's a great question. If a problem was properly repaired, it's no longer an active issue, and it has not returned, you usually do not have to disclose it as a current defect. However, if the problem was major, like foundation repair, basement waterproofing, or structural work, it is often very smart to disclose these issues, that they happened, that they were repaired, and if you can provide documentation, all the better, because this will build trust and prevent future disputes. So what happens if you don't disclose something? This part is very important. If a seller knowingly fails to disclose a material defect and the buyer discovers it later, the seller may be responsible for repair costs, legal damages, attorney's fees, contract rescission, or even fraud claims. And here's the scary part. Even if the buyer had a home inspection, the seller can still be liable if they intentionally hid something. Disclosures protect you just as much as they protect the buyer. And as is does not mean no disclosure. This may be one of the biggest myths in real estate. Just because you're selling a home as is does not remove your disclosure obligation. As is simply means you are not agreeing in advance to make repairs. It does not mean you can hide defects, lie on the disclosure, or can avoid responsibility entirely. As is homes must still be disclosed honestly. So what about things like stigmas or neighborhood issues? Well, in Kentucky, sellers are generally not required to disclose things such as deaths in the home, paranormal activity, criminal activity nearby, neighborhood disputes, or future developments that may or may not occur, unless directly asked and unless it affects the physical condition of the property. Again, the law focuses on the home itself. So here are some common disclosure mistakes that sellers make. And these are mistakes that I see most often with Louisville sellers. Leaving sections blank. Marking unknown when they actually do know. Forgetting about past leaks or water issues. Not disclosing prior foundation repairs. Guessing instead of answering honestly. And trying to minimize problems. The safest approach is simple. If you are unsure whether to disclose something, disclose it, because transparency protects you. So how do you protect yourself when selling? Well, here's what I recommend every seller do. Take your time filling out the disclosure form. Be honest and factual. Do not guess. Say unknown if you truly don't know. Keep good repair records and receipts, and let your agent review the disclosures before listing. The disclosure is not some test that you need to pass. It is a shield. A properly completed disclosure is one of the best legal protections a seller has. So if you are selling a home in Louisville, remember this. You do not have to disclose everything, but you do have to disclose what you know that matters. Honest disclosures build buyer trust, reduce contract cancellations, protect you legally, and make closings much smoother. So if you are thinking about selling and want help reviewing what should or should not be disclosed, I'm always happy to walk you through it. I am David Hiddle, your real estate specialist doing business as Shop Kentucky Homes LLC with United Real Estate Louisville. And if you found this video, if this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more Louisville area real estate tips for sellers and homeowners alike. This video talked about sellers' disclosure forms, and some of it may seem a bit legalese. Remember, your real estate agent is not an attorney. I am not an attorney. So if you have actual legal questions that need to be answered before you proceed with something, contact a real estate attorney before you make any decision. And I'll see you in the next video.